Good evening, good people. I am not in the picture again. Okay, here we go. That's better. No, you don't have to stop it. We can just keep carrying on. Tonight is the night I've been waiting for. It's Wednesday, January 7th, 2015. It is the pilot of Empire. I have been waiting on this movie since I started hearing about it in October or November of last year. When I first saw it, I couldn't believe that they were going to put on a show this strong um, on regular TV, and it wasn't going to be a VH1 or what's her name, Love and Hip Hop. No, what's her lady name, Mona Scott program or whatever. It's a it's a fictional program, but I still can see a lot of things in there. I definitely am seeing Motown going on, a lot of the record industry things that are going on behind the scenes that we don't know, but we always think we know. But it is as thrilling and excellent as I expected to be. Oh, I'm Empress.
I'm Tori B151. Yeah, it was very good. It was everything that I expected and then some. We already know Taraji and Terrence are great actors. They put on a great show. I was just in awe. I was emotional at some points, and I was feeling angry at other points, and they got me. What about you?
I'm telling you what. First of all, when you put Terrence Howard in anything, and I don't care what the blogs say about his relationship thing or whatever, I'm not into that. Taraji P. Henson in there. I saw Tasha Smith in there, Malik Yoba in there, Gabby Sidibe. Oh my goodness,
Cuba Gooding Jr.
Cuba on one of the talking about coming up in the futures. These young brothers that are their sons. Man, I just see the fire coming, and it starts off with one young lady singing in the booth, and Terrence, which we know him as Lucius, long for Lucifer, but the devil. But Lucius is giving her help on getting her focused on getting down deep and making music. He knows how to get the best music out of people, get their emotions out of them. And by the third take, when she does that song, man, it is hot fire. They then jump to a scene where they show, I'm going to jump a little bit, but they show Taraji signing out of prison and everything. And she spent, 20 years behind? 17 years behind bars. They were once together. They have 3 sons, and they had, what happened was she did some drug dealing and money carrying on with drugs for him, because he was trying to make an album, and she got the money to him. It puts you into the mind of Hustle and Flow. If you never saw Hustle and Flow, this is what happened along afterwards with Hustle and Flow. Because remember, he wanted to make the CD.
Yes.
And I think it was Ludacris was laughing at him and all that kind of stuff. But this is what happens when he actually does get it and make it. It seems like it's a take on that. I heard 50 Cent was supposedly tripping about them doing this, and it's supposed to be a takeoff of Power, but it's nothing like I've watched Power, and Power is good. Power is good, but it's nothing about that yet. Not from the pilot right now. This is a family in struggle that's going on. So it ends up that that Lucius says the company's going to go public, and Taraji is getting out of prison, and she wants what is hers. Now, he's already divorced her while she's in prison, but she wants her half of any and everything that she's owed.
Yeah, she has spent years in prison, and she's angry at this point. You divorced me, and you lied on my name, and I'm in prison for you, and I started this company from the jump. So she's coming back with vengeance. She's very hurt and upset about this, and she's going to do what it takes to get her part of the company.
Right. And so what happens as the backstory, we learn that not so much yet in detail of what happened with the drug deal, but we learned in the past that yes, she was doing the money and getting the drugs and dropping them off or selling them or whatever, making big deals. He'd be in the car waiting. And she gets a feeling on this last deal that she's about to get caught. And she asks him to please make her a promise to not break up the family. But in the meantime, we're seeing the boys. We see that she doesn't really know the youngest boy as well. He must have been an iron baby when she left.
Yeah.
But she's close to the second son, who, as it turns out, is gay.
Mm-hmm.
And they show a flashback when they're having a little dinner party with the guests and the TV trays. And this motherfucker come walking in with high heels and a rag tied on his head, switching.
Yeah, he came out there looking crazy and switching with the heels, and he had a tie on, and he lost it. I'm telling you right now.
Lucius,
he lost it. He grabbed that little boy up, told him, beat your you-know-whats, and Taraji's like, no, Lucius, what you doing? Stop.
Girl, and he took him and put him in the garbage can.
Yes.
And she got him out the garbage can and so forth. And she said that he never wanted him, and he's saying, yeah, I didn't, because he finds something wrong with him. Then we have the oldest son, who has not come and seen the mother at all. He's gone to college and grad school, and he's married to a white lady, and he wants the business. As they say, he's put his heart and soul into the record company business, Empire, and he wants it. But the dad tells them all to be prepared, because it could be any one of them that's going to be chosen. The dad's feeling is he wants an entertainer artist, one of his sons, to be that or do that. And he wants them to lead up, because they would know the business more so, and they would have that PR and that name, so people would know, oh, this is so-and-so's business. So mama gets out, and she comes to visit the son. She visits her the one she's closest to, which is the gay son, because she told him that even when she was in jail, she told him, don't worry, I always got your back. And she does. And she comes in very direct and telling them that, she tells him, for a queen, you don't keep this place tidy or whatnot. Then she meets his man and talks about, oh, I didn't know you got a little Mexican. Talking about you ought to get him to clean the house.
Yeah, I was like, Mom, really? Really, she had me laughing with that one.
That was hilarious. It was all in poor taste, but it's all part of these characters. Then she goes over and sees the youngest one, and I don't know, I didn't catch his name yet.
I don't either. All I know is Jamal is the gay one.
Right. So then she comes in and sees the youngest son, and the youngest son is real nasty to her and talking real slick. Next, he talking about, bitch, what you want? I'm like, bitch. And then she picks up the broom and she beats that boy short of his life. The next time we see him at the club, he all bruised up, eye all messed up and everything. And Lucius sees him and says, oh, I see you. Your mother came by to see you. And it turns out that the oldest son, shows up at the door. And what happens at Cookie's door?
Yeah, he shows up. At first, he came banging on the door like the police. So she had her pistol out to, just in case. So she asked who it was, and he said it was him. And she opened the door and embraced him. And they had like a touching moment where they all apologized. Mom apologized for her going to jail and doing this dirty mess. And he apologized for not visiting her throughout this thing. But it comes there to tell her about this business idea that his wife told him about. And he wants the mom to manage Jamal, the gay son, because he figures that his dad wants the youngest son, the rapper, to be the CEO of the company.
Right. And so they figure out the oldest son and his wife that if the two boys are going to get in the music, they're going to go head to head and go against each other, and that will only leave the oldest son to run the business. He told the mom, he was very honest. He said, I really want this business. This is what I deserve to have. And he said to her, do you really love me? And next thing you know, she was like, yeah. And he said, well, listen to this. We're going to do this. And next thing you know, she shows up to Lucius' office and says she wants what's hers again. And she says, and I want Jamal. He was like, oh, no, you ain't getting Jamal. And that's the middle son. And then she said, well, what if I tell the SEC that my $400,000 was drug money? You'll never get your IPO. And that means you'll never be able to sell stock for the the world, on the stock market. So he looking to the lawyer. The lawyer's talking about, you not that stupid. She told him, bitch, shut up. And I'm like, okay, you got him in check, and he shut up too. And he nodded to Lucius that, yeah, she's right. She can blow everything we got right now. So he gives up Jamal, and she has to come back and sign legal papers that she will never speak about how the business got originated, and she can have Jamal, because she knows, as the older son knows, if she manages Jamal, he's going to turn out some hits and be a super duper duper star. Okay. So we end up in some club we're at, and Gabby is there, and she plays Becky, Lucius's secretary, and a friend. I think that's Jamal's boyfriend.
Yeah.
And they're listening to him sing some song, and the mom's sitting at the bar, and it was great. I really liked it. I saw some people tweet that they didn't like it. I liked it, though. I really did, for what it was. We got to see that he's got raw talent, which is what they were showing us. Obviously, Taraji or Cookie is going to clean him up and smooth him up. He's a diamond in the rough, but she's going to get that off of him. And you could tell when she puts her mind to something, she's going to get it done, because that's what she did for Lucius. That's how Lucius got so famous. So it ends up, I'm just skipping through that. They end up at a party, like they're giving a party, or a new launch party. They've gone public now, and Lucius is celebrating and announcing both the boys are going to put out an album, and now we're going to see who does what. In that also, Lucius has written some rhymes and things for the youngest son to sing, and he just can't do it. But then Jamal writes for him, the one that Cookie has, and it turns out that it's fire. It's really pretty hot, actually, for a TV show, and they got a soundtrack and everything. So
yeah, it was really good. And then the scene where the youngest son shows the dad the song that they made together, and Lucius totally dismisses Jamal, because he was the one to say, you know what, this beat ain't really it. So he makes the beat for him, and the youngest boy makes the rhymes. And he got no credit for whatever he did.
Yeah, he was like, no, that's all you. Now the beast is coming out of you. No, the beast came out of him because Jamal brought the beast out of him.
Right.
So Jamal ends up showing back up, because Jamal doesn't want the mom to manage him.
No.
But then after that little scenario where he got dissed and everything, he goes to Cookie's house and says, okay, you win. You can manage me. I want to still stay me, but you can manage me. So it was one part where he had said no to her. She said, what she called him? Some kind of
stupid sissy.
Called him a stupid sissy. Taraji P. Henson, people, is on fire. She was on fire tonight. I couldn't take my eyes off of her. Wherever the scene was, wherever she was hot like fire. She asked the older son, why is he with a smart woman? Then he said, because with a white woman. She said, because she was so smart. He said, they all are, even if they ain't trying to be. Lucius or Terrence Howard is always on fire. He's always intense. He's going to bring 150%, and he did not disappoint us tonight.
Nope.
In between all of this family finagling over this business, we find that Lucius is going to the doctor and getting CAT scans and all kind of tests, because as we find out, he ends up having ALS, which they did the ice bucket for over the summer. There's no cure for it. It's an autoimmune disease that he has. And the doctor was really vague. She said that he had maybe 3 years or maybe a little more, less than 2. So we know that somewhere in the next 2 to 3 years, he's going to die, and he wants to make sure he leaves the business in the hands of the right ones. Nobody knows. The kids don't know. Cookie doesn't know yet. So we'll see how that plays out. He's going to eventually have to tell that. But it caught me at the door.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. Let me get some water. It caught me right at the door, and it held me and twisted me every which way but loose.
It sure did. And the scene before they did the party, remember, he shot his comrade, his friend.
Oh, girl, I forgot about that. His homeboy, his bodyguard or whatever, who we see from the start that he is a simp. Okay. Yeah. Like Terrence was getting ready to leave the studio at the beginning. This nigga is on the couch sleep. Mm-hmm. So they have to wake him up and get him up and going. And finally we find out that his bodyguard boy that he's known since they were 14 owes a gambling debt. Mm-hmm. He says it's $125,000. Ends up being he comes back with his gun pointing at Lucius' house, which gets Lucius up on his feet and says he really owes $3 million. Well, they do an investigation on him, and Malik Yoba's character comes and says, well, he owes 120-some thousand, 130-some thousand is what he actually owes. Mm-hmm. And whoever he's talking to is some kind of old drug dealer that he's dealing with. So he's outside one night, his bodyguard, out at some old dump or somewhere, just outside. And what happens?
He's actually out there using it, but he scares them. He shows them the pictures that they had. He's like, "Oh, did it scare you? Because it scared me." And he came up on them, and he gave a whole speech on how we was boys, and I was with you to the beginning. And his comrade was all like, you a murderer too. He told him, like, you remember back in the day you killed them drug dealers. He's like, yeah, and I'm gonna kill you. And he shot him right there.
Yeah, honey. I said, whoo. He did not stop for a minute. He didn't think about it. He didn't tell him how I don't want to kill you or whatever. He just said his little speech about how we go back from when we was 14 years old. Nigga, you did. Boom. And shot him right in the head and turned around and left out the old gutter field. Yeah. I'm like, Lucius is the devil. He is cold-blooded, cold-hearted, and he don't care. It's all about Empire, and there's nobody going to come between him and Empire until he's ready for that to happen. Yep. But nobody's coming between that. He's not going to bust up. Nobody's going to bust up the family thing, and he's made that clear. Mm-hmm. So how it's going to play out with him and Cookie, that's going to be interesting because she's going to be, to me, it seemed like the only woman, power, that's going to be able to step to him and let him know what time it is. Right. And I don't play them games, and I'm not the one. So, bye. Yeah. So, it's going to be good. This is my new show. We'll be reviewing it every Wednesday. Look forward to it. Mm-hmm. If you like this, subscribe, thumbs up, comment, watch it. It's at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. It's called Empire. Terrence Howard, Taraji P. Henson. It's produced by, executive produced by Lee Daniels Baby and Timbaland. Yes. So the music is crazy good. Fire. Yeah, it really, the soundtrack, and they're offering that for sale. By the way, watch out for the commercials because they know they're trying to get your tax money, honey. And I saw them with Lincoln Navigator commercials and all kind of computer commercials and all this kind of stuff. They think it's Christmas again, but we don't have to fall for the okie doke. Yeah. You guys have a good night.
All right. See you guys.